Retro anime. How did we find it? How does it hold up? Unpacking the ins and outs of being an old school nerd and proving that 80s kids can't remember a damn thing right. These are the mindless midlife musings of the anime nerd.
Welcome to Mindless Midlife Musings of the Anime Nerd. I'm Rick, and I'm joined by the rest of our panel, Vic, Brian, and Lynette. How's it going, everyone?
Hey, y'all.
Hi.
Hey!
In this episode, we set our sights on an unkillable target, Golgo 13, the professional. We'll take the job. Golgo 13 is a 1983 Japanese animated action film based on a manga series, Golgo 13, by Takao Saito. The film was directed by Osamu Dezaki, and it is the first animated film based on the manga. There were two live-action films previous to this, but this is the first animated. The film was later released in North America by Streamline Pictures in 1992, which is just about the time we would have picked it up. I'm pretty sure I picked this one up from Blockbuster.
That is so amazing. It came out in 83, and then we didn't get it to 92. And we were watching, oh my God, that's so...
Yeah.
Blows my mind.
Yeah, almost a decade. Pretty wild stuff. So, but yeah, I like I said, I think I picked this up at Blockbuster. I'm pretty sure. I don't know, maybe because I didn't own it. I've never owned it before now. So, and I'd just preface with, I feel like that was a mistake on my part because rewatching it now, I really wish I feel like I do need to own it. Just needs like a Blu-ray release or something.
I can honestly say that I really enjoyed this one.
I enjoyed this a lot more than I remembered. This is one of those instances where rose-colored glasses weren't wrong. Like, I went back to revisit this, and I was like, this is just as wild as I remembered it.
Yes.
Now, Lynette, this was your first time with the movie, yeah?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. This... Now, obviously we'll get to it in our final thoughts, but it is definitely a product of its time, animation wise. There are some parts of it where, boy, that thing reads 83, and there are some parts that are absolute brilliance. For those of you who don't know, Golgo 13, the professional, as it was called here in the States, is about a professional contract killer, and he's hired to assassinate a character. Whose name I didn't. Yeah, well, yeah. So, all right, that's a good place to start. This anime, I'm gonna say based on the manga, is nothing if not a glorious love letter to the spy and thrillers of like the 70s.
Yes.
Right. Like,
down to the music, the character design, everything.
Not just that, the whole opening animation screams James Bond.
Oh, yeah.
Screams it.
Yeah, this is and a fun, just a fun mindless musing about that. That is not the intro we saw when it came out in 92.
No, on rewatching, it actually blew me away. I was like, I don't remember CG, and it's like I had to actually look it up, and it's like, holy crap! It's like one of the first that actually incorporated computer-generated graphics.
Yeah. And we didn't get that for some reason. They decided to edit out the very James Bond-esque intro when we originally saw this back in the day.
Very soul and bullets and guns.
Oh,
and
it was.
And I had to keep watching it. I was like, really? There's I just walking around, skeleton blowing off the other skeleton's head. Okay.
It was so, and then just like, I mean, everything down to the way they cut to panels when action's happening, the way that they do manga line work in some of the shots, the saxophone music like rocking in the background for all the, I mean, this whole movie is camera angles. Some of the camera angles, I was like, damn, they totally lifted that out of a spy movie. And it's just, it's impressive the amount of, and I really almost want to check out the manga to see if that holds true, because this feels from the outside looking in like a direct translation. Like if you were gonna, like the manga animated and that they pulled it off, similar to how they did with Fist of the North Star, how everything feels like that must have been the way it looked in the manga. and they successfully pulled that off.
And like this is the North Star, we have to deal with the whole issue of blood. These guys, they can take a punch, a stab, a shot, and just get up and keep on moving. I was like, come on.
Duke is come on. Duke is the
Got shot in the chest and just put a band-aid on like it was a boo-boo. And then decided to go to
It was
the
a boo-boo to
Amazon.
Gigalgo.
Duke having the most Anglo manly name of any assassin.
Like,
Duke.
I didn't get it. I was like, how is he Japanese with the name
Duke.
Because it's a manly name.
Yeah,
It goes with his manly face. I don't think he smiled. I'd be surprised if like an eye twitch happened. Like he got shot in the chest and his face was still the same. And the only thing that happened was he just closed his eyes like
Like,
I'm gonna have
I can't believe he shot me.
me. Right?
I can't believe he stabbed me.
Yeah, he stabbed me. I got shot. I'm jumping off a building. It's the same face.
Yeah, later in the movie, he pulls out like a 6-inch spike from his shoulder, and he's just grimacing the whole time. Stone cold.
Just closes his eyes.
Speaking of his face lines, were those scars or was that just his face?
I think it's just his. I think it's permascal. I don't think it's a scar.
Yes, I've seen that with other animes, and it's usually the people who just never smile. Like if you look at it, a lot of the big, tall guys, and they're
He is
just always like
perpetually unimpressed about everything.
yes,
Yeah.
they're the ones in all the other animes who have those big lines. That's how you know that they're going to take everything so
That's
serious.
They're the intense ones. Permascal guys. Yeah, I loved the setup, the whole intro, the setup, the way that when they're animating, like he's putting the rifle together and and they're showing like the plane on approach and all that, and just the great level of care that went into. Obviously, you could tell the person that wrote the manga, drew the manga, is into this, right? He's into like the whole the guns and cars and spies and all that, because he really they really dialed it in. And this movie is filled with what I have to say are some of the most impressive kills I've ever seen in an assassin film.
Hell no.
Yeah, animated or live.
First one, he shot the guy while on a plane, and then flew away. Like
Yes. And then how do you top that? How do you top that? By shooting a guy on a cruise ship from a lighthouse.
Center mass, one shot.
Yes, then it gets even better. Everybody's hunting him. So what does he do? Public airport and shoots the guy. Just and then grabs his bag like I'm off to go see the zoo.
And nobody does it.
He did like y'all saw. He tried to shoot me first, right? He tried to shoot me. I shot him.
He was trying.
We're all
to
good
shoot.
here.
We're good. Yeah.
I was thinking
Name's
about
Duke,
shooting.
and they're like, "Oh, you can go, Duke."
We forgot to say spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
If they're this far in, we're like 14 episodes into. If they're this far into the show, they know we spoil the whole movie. So I'm used to it by now.
Well, that's the whole point of talking about it.
Yeah. Oh my god. Well, I will say there's besides just the incredible kills. Come on, lighthouse to the ship, the airplane,
hotel.
the thing, just the
one where you shoot
hotel.
through the building.
Yeah, all of that.
Oh wow.
Do you know what the most important thing for me? What impressed me the most about that kill?
That was the only kill that it took him more than one shot to take off?
No, that
one-
all the shots, out of all the shots he shot, only one made it through. So
Yeah.
nobody else got collateral damage. Nobody else got shot.
Like you knew the exact number of bullets to get through the glass, and then
Exactly. How do you?
Not only that, you have to time it so the previous casing doesn't hit the one that's coming in, and
it was good.
Yeah,
it was just very. This whole anime is very smart.
Love it. Speaking about that shot, the physics of that shot, even and it even took away his skill. Like, look, he's a bad for trying this, but I'm going to make sure that the trigger you have is electric, so it doesn't pull, and then you won't get to jump with the recoil. By you not being, oh my god, that is just a phenomenal piece of physics.
And then he just walks down the street and kills the bad guy who's trying to kill him anyways. He's walking down the street.
But was he really a bad guy? I mean, he was technically federal agents.
Well, he just got in the way.
Yeah, and I feel like this speaks to another thing about this is that it's not just clever kills and really like spy love letters. It does have a pretty involved plot. The storyline for this is, in my opinion, arguably just as involved, if not more, than some of the best Bond movies. Like, there's a lot of intrigue, but then there's this whole, like, I love that when it starts, you know, he gets the kill off, whatever, no big deal, and then he's got the assignment to take out Dr. Z, and I'm thinking this is the main story. It's going to be this whole Dr. Z plot, right? Like, he, you know, they were just showing he's a bad when he killed the kid on the boat, and then this is the plot. And they threw you the curveball because that's done in like 8 minutes. It's like, nope, Dr. Z story, we're done with that.
Yeah, everything else was just like, you know, just filler while everyone else was plotting on how to kill him.
Yeah, it was all build up to this really just great climax with him having to climb the tower to get to the bad guy at the top level. And I don't know, it was great. Did you know that Dr. Z was Cindy before he told her? Did you?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, considering, you know, we did watch it in '93. Yes.
Yeah, but I don't, you know. I didn't remember this movie as much as I thought I did.
He welded too much power. That's what gave me the hint.
Yeah.
See, we're talking about how she was like the beloved daughter, but then
Oh
all of a
yeah,
sudden,
all that
but then all
setup.
of a
Yeah.
sudden she walks into the restaurant and is like, "Bring him," and they walk, and everybody goes, "Yeah, okay." I was like,
Yeah, if she were the actual daughter, that he would not have been brought
"Yeah,
over.
exactly."
And if he were, the room would have been totally surrounded the entire time.
I
Exactly.
love that. And I got to tell you, if this speaks to anything, it's Brian, you know, and everyone else. When we did the hentai episode, what did we ask for? We wanted to know where the consensual sex was. We found the
There we
consensual
go.
sex. We found it. Here it is. It's in one anime. You're welcome.
You would think he'd be happy about it, but no, he didn't smile.
Yes.
I mean, he sat there for the entire session, so you would assume he enjoyed it, but he didn't look like he was having fun.
Look, two things about that. As a guy, if I'm in the throes of passion with a woman and she's not making me, and I'm just laying there,
I thought he was dead. I was like,
Just sitting there, like, unamused.
I thought it was like Basic Instinct where she had like killer vajayjay and he was dead.
Laid out.
but the other guy just came in and just started talking to him.
Yes.
Yeah. While it was going down.
You know, I mean, it wasn't until he like changed positions where I was like, "Oh, he's alive." I thought he was dead.
He's not knocked out at all. She's not. This isn't her taking
He's putting
advantage.
effort in.
She was losing her mind.
That's what I was like. What is happening? How?
When you're in the throes of passion with Duke Togo, you know, you feel nothing but everything.
Like his Kama Sutra, like breathing and opening his chakra was the point.
Right?
When you open your chakras, you don't need to move your muscles. You can have a movement.
I don't know. There must.
He sat there looking dead. He was controlling one muscle and one muscle only.
It was hilarious. You know, maybe we're all giving him too much credit. Maybe it was just taking that much self-composure to not finish like in a second because she was absolutely like riding a bronco. So he was sitting there just thinking of like baseball stats.
Well, she's sitting there. She has a freaking bow on. I mean, come on. I don't know what guy would not be just like, if your woman walked into the room and nothing but a bow.
That's it. Yeah, he was very that's what it is he was concentrating on anything but that.
It must have been like naked grandmas, baseball,
dead babies, you know.
Or maybe he was so excited about the kill he just did. He was like, look, seriously, I just killed somebody from a lighthouse. way over there. I mean,
You should have seen it. It was amazing.
yeah, it took everything for me to do that. So this is all you get right now. This is it.
I mean, even with the crazy lady, the Dr. Z, it's like she was, whoa, and he's
She
just
was,
like,
yeah.
he just
wild.
went, oh, okay, I guess it's time to do it.
Like, let me get into the mood.
Yeah, right? I'm just gonna, straight face. A woman loves this face.
Yeah, this is my happy face.
No expression.
What's his old face look like?
That was, I'll tell you, it's nothing.
Picture of his lip curls real quick. For like a
Right.
tenth of a
He
second.
boss?
Because the world would end if they actually showed it, so they couldn't show it.
Well, because he's not the manliest of manly men if he's emoting and having fun. So Duke is not I don't want to call him an apt lover. He just phones it in. I'm just saying.
Actually, apparently,
Women love it.
Apparently addictive. I don't know.
he didn't even see his final form. I mean, his power level has to be over 9,000.
I mean, so you get this wonderful subplot with the whole Cindy is actually Dr. Z thing, and I thought they were going to play that out a lot longer than they did, and then she, of course, because she's clearly bad, decides she's going to try and shoot him from horseback, which is always just a bad idea, and he puts her out, which is great. It's an excellent short sequence that was probably a chapter in the manga, and it was excellent.
Mhm.
Just because.
Frozen scene when she gets shot in the head. Perfect.
Yeah.
Just how they just stopped it right there.
Just great. And I love that. And I love that it's all building up to his skill set. Like that's all this is. All this is just expanding on his skill set, right? And showing that he is right. And he's just that much of a badass because the name Duke wasn't enough.
Quick question. How did the guy on the boat in the Amazon know that he was afraid? His face didn't change.
No. It's because he asked a question. He doesn't ask questions. He just takes the job and he's all good. But this time he's like, make sure you've got this thing. And they're like, all right, cool.
He's
It's
afraid.
like,
He asked
Yes,
me
a
to double
question.
check. Oh my god, I'm screwed.
He must be scared. In 20 years of working with him, he's never asked a question. Then the whole overarching plot of Mr. Dawson, the oil tycoon who is hunting down Golgo for killing his son. Then it introduces us to just the greatest character, Snake.
Oh,
Oh,
Two teeth?
He's got little baby teeth.
Little two teeth? That dude is disturbing.
His little toddler teeth, and he's obsessed with the guy's daughter-in-law.
he never grew out of his baby teeth.
Dude. Seriously. And limber. So limber.
Yeah.
Really
I had to
limber.
block him out. Seriously. As soon as I saw two teeth and nothing else, I was like, okay, I can't watch this guy. I don't
He's
know
a next level creeper, and the way and the name, of course, obviously perfectly chosen. The way he just slithers and skulks over to Laura, was her name, is just brilliantly disturbing and disgusting, and I loved it because he made me want to kill him immediately. So mission accomplished there. But yeah, so then this whole subplot starts. The whole main plot starts baking out, and you got it's oil tycoon who's in charge. He's got the FBI, he's got the CIA, he's got the U.S. military, like everybody trying to find and kill Golgo, and he's got this entire task force. And this is the shooting through a building scene, and he's they're just trying to figure out all this about. Can you see the south side from the north side and what's going on there? It's animated intensity, but I appreciated the tension in building up to that. Is that they could have just had the shot be a thing, but everything is building up to his skill set, showing that he is this master assassin.
I like how they never tried to stop him. Once he was in position, and he was like, they never. Oh, he's going to kill this person. Protect him. No. Clearly, they need to die.
And it gets even worse because it's like, okay, we know he's here talking to Rita. Rita owns a Ford dealership that was not available in the US, but I think it was like an Australian exclusive.
You're gonna have to expand on that.
So they had the car, the dealership, whichever it was, the Autorama.
Mm-hmm.
It was not a U.S. thing. It was, I think, an Australian and European thing, from what I looked up.
I love it.
Same thing with the car model, and so neither one would be in San Francisco.
So she's very an exclusive, a dealer in exclusivity.
Right. Which means it should have been that much easier to find him.
I loved Rita. I thought she was a fun sidekick character. I really wish we would have got more out of her, rather than just.
Apparently, we got every bit of her. We got as much as we can get out of her. She gave it till she couldn't give it no more.
Golgo did.
Rita died for her cause. Rita.
Yeah.
Put some respect on her name. Rita.
And yeah, it's, of course, you can't have a young woman in this movie and not have her have sex with Duke, because that's all she needed was for payment. So, but no, she was fun. She was sassy. She was written interesting. I loved that for her 25 seconds of screen time that they established she had a really good rapport with Duke and history, and I love that all about her. I thought she was just fun. I liked her a lot.
I like the difference in this love scene over there because he cared about her. They protected her modesty. They didn't show her if he's about to kill him. Show him right there. Go ahead.
Right. Her was like in the shadows almost. They didn't turn the lights on.
Right. Because it was making love.
Yeah, she was shy about her.
That's right. She had a nudity clause in her contract.
And Duke probably smiled during the process, thus they blocked it out.
That's why she died.
That's why they killed her character off. So then I think probably one of the, and I just have more questions about it than anything. But Mr. Dawson, obviously horribly corrupt beyond compare, just happenstance randomly agrees to give his daughter-in-law to Baby Teeth, like a
pimp
sex toy. Yeah.
And have his granddaughter learn to shoot specifically for the whole airport scene.
It's stone cold, right? Because you think about the implications of this. Is he's trying to avenge the death of his son, and at this point they haven't established who killed him, or not, who ordered the hit. So he's trying to avenge the death of his son, and the love of his son's life is the payment for this. It's just
thought about it.
And it's a dark scene. Like it's very cold and very dark and
very hentai.
Yeah, well, yeah, very much so. But man, just stone cold.
I think the thing about that scene was in his mind he was thinking to himself, "Hey, listen, I'm putting all this and everything to make sure he's died. The least you can do is give your body to Baby Teeth.
All I need you to do is completely give yourself to Baby Teeth here, and you'll be fine."
The whole daughter training to kill him. What's the point of having this whole convoluted scheme? If you're just gonna, I'm gonna put the granddaughter out there.
Yeah, I agree. It was. I think it was. I mean, obviously, it was just to get a rise or a movement in the story, because it really was probably his dumbest idea. the entire story. Because I'm gonna teach my granddaughter to shoot. Perfect. She'll be the assassin.
I think it was probably the laziest decision they made in that.
I agree.
Because say what you want, yeah, your son got killed, but he's already has a legacy. His daughter's already there. Mm-hmm. So you should be preparing for that. But you went damn it all to hell. Everybody is going to burn down.
And I mean, just like brass balls, right? Because he doesn't know if Golgo's the kind of guy that'll kill a kid.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's also the same guy who has like shady meetings on the middle of a boat behind a 500-gallon fish tank. And when people don't fall in line, he just punches these leaders right in the face. Like
that was pretty funny.
Right? Like he's just got the cojones, man. I don't know. He just sat there. He was like, "What? You're not gonna do what I did? Do you see the fish tank? Do you see how awesome I am?" And then just flies over the table and hits people.
Right? Like completely loses his.
And the worst part about that is that despite the fact that as the audience, you don't know exactly who ordered to hit on his son till the end.
Yeah.
By that point, you know for sure he knew who did it.
Yeah. Because he gets confronted by Laura after she's, I guess, to complete submission. It's the damnedest thing. It's, I mean, like where she ends up at the end of the movie. You're just like, really? Like that's. You were married to the son of an oil billionaire. You didn't get nothing? Like, you didn't get the house, you didn't get money, you didn't get. This is where you've ended up as a in the movie. And so she's just like, she's just done, right? She's
And then she gets the ultimate, apparently, she gets the ultimate stormtrooper aim and just misses him point blank.
yeah. I didn't want to.
Who knows? Maybe she did hit him and he just didn't feel it.
Right. No. So I didn't want to jump to that yet.
That's fair.
We'll come back to it. I didn't want to jump to it yet. I wanted to talk about gold and silver. So gold and silver had probably one of the best buildups as far as like Bond villains go, right? They get this elaborate story that Dawson's telling, I guess, all the people that probably already know the story about these two soldiers who just were savage killing machines. I liked it. It was really cool. But boy, the payoff for that was not there.
Oh no, they went out like chumps.
They were
Okay,
really.
I wasn't the only one, right?
No, they were so bad. It was terrible. It's like all this. I was more impressed, and I even wrote it down. I said the Snake versus Golgo fight in the elevator, it was great. I loved all that.
Can I tell you that twice, because of that fight, when you said you bring up that fight, twice, Snake could have killed him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And then Chopper comes and shoots him up.
No,
But that's not the only time it's happened. When he's in the church, and the three guys are handing it to him, next thing you know, they kill everybody. I'm like,
so yeah, I agree. So this build up for gold and silver was just this great backstory with some just creepy animation, and then you get gold and silver, and it's two, I don't know, ice skaters in leotards, and
It's Blades of Glory.
that's a phenomenal description.
It is. It's Blades of Glory. Like when I saw it, I was like, "It's Blades of Glory. What's going on?"
And it's even worse because the whole backstory was longer than their actual fight against Duke.
oh my god! And you want to talk about just the lamest? Okay, so I give Duke credit, right? When Golgo puts gold down, he empties the clip, right? Like he puts more bullets in the gun, and then he just keeps shooting gold. He makes sure that is dead. I respect.
I love his choice of gun.
What is it? What's his choice of gun?
No, it's a Smith & Wesson, but a snub nose. But what type of gun does James Bond use? A Walter PPK.
I love that you know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Right. But
I said one that goes bang.
A shiny one.
It's a semi-automatic, you know. Golgo, unless he's doing a kill, his to-go weapon is a revolver. 6 shots, zip it up. That's so time appropriate for that.
He just knows that he doesn't need more than that many bullets to get the job done.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, he only needs 1.
But with gold, he emptied the barrel.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I'm done.
Just had to make sure.
And then silver. This is the lamest, most dumb
Mask
death.
falls off, and you're just like, "Oh, that's why you're wearing a mask."
He's running with his arms back like ninja running, like ah! Just. I don't know how bad you got to be at killing people, because based on the story, he should have been way better than this. But he gets that grenade stuffed in his mouth and doesn't stop to take it out, just keeps running.
Nice.
Hold this, bite this.
Maybe they only work.
Hey, you never know. Maybe the grenade was flavored.
Oh, Silver, I'm gonna need you to bite down.
I have a. Maybe they only work well in the Amazon. They don't. put them in a
Oh
city
man.
and they kill themselves. You have to put them
This-
in the forest.
So I felt very let down by Gold and Silver, despite just the immense buildup of this storyline, and the way they ended was just so underwhelming. It's to the point where I really kind of wish they would have flipped those scenes, so you would have had the Gold Silver fight before he ended up fighting Snake, because I felt like he was more in peril against Snake than he was against those two.
Oh yeah.
And it would have been the last ninjas essentially unkillable trope, because Snake was, been the big problem for him, like from the beginning. So it's missed opportunity there. But yeah, it
Especially
was
since Snake took so many people from him.
yeah. Like I
You
feel
guys
like that
keep
was the
calling him
fight.
Snake. I can only picture him as baby teeth.
Baby
That's
teeth. Well, that's he's baby teeth.
like
I'm
two
gonna
teeth,
keep
but
calling
it's
him
all
baby.
right. It's all right.
No,
But
we're going with baby teeth. Uh,
And I think it showed how removed he was from that. From the people that he was employing. Golgo. It's because
Sure.
the fact that you're with the guy who's killed the guy who's worked for you a long time, the girl who gave you everything, gave you her heart and soul. He killed him, and not one time did you kill him talk about this is for blah blah.
right.
This is for blue blue. I mean, nothing. He just
Yeah.
kept on running.
He's so stoic he didn't have to say it. Like the second the bullet hit them, they knew.
Why?
He was stuck as Inigo Montoya.
That's right. I loved it's for a Japanese anime. It's a very Western story. You got an oil tycoon who apparently ordered Kennedy killed, which was a fun side bit. I'm like, oh, okay, we just threw that in there because why not? And it's a rich oil baron and a master assassin and all this. It was very Western, which I appreciated it. It was just cool. So he makes his way up. Right? He's fought his way through this thing. He gets his way all the way to the top of the building to boss level, and Dawson, that's the name of these guys, right? He doesn't even want to give Golgo the joy of pulling the trigger. He decides just to fling himself out the window. After all this,
anybody else do what the hell? I did a what the hell when he jumped out the window. I was like, what? I was like,
right?
Yeah,
unfortunately, that was denied from him as well.
Yes, I love that. I love that he didn't even give him that. I love that Duke is like, nah, you died my way.
Meaning he took a revolver, stuffed a revolver, shot it over 50 floors, and hit him before he hit the ground.
Before he hit the ground. In the forehead. Perfect shot before he hit the ground. It was so Duke. It was just so Duke. But I it was great. I loved that whole bit. I loved the reveal that Robert was his own killer. Like that was cool. But
it didn't make sense. Why was Robert his own killer?
And they didn't say why. He just
I didn't say
sorry. This is my suicide note. But that's
he didn't say why he wanted to die. Just that hey, I'm pretty sad, Dad, and I'm feeling really down. But I'm too much of a chicken to do it myself. So because I'm rich, I'm gonna pay the world's best assassin to do it for me. So, bye, Dad.
I just had a couple million just hanging around.
And not only hire the best assassin, but have it during this whole giant party ceremony that's happening on the boat in front of all of his family and his friends
and that's I just had more questions at this point. It was like, okay, well, hold on. When he ordered the hit, did he meet with him? Because that could have been the shortest contract ever. It would have been like, Mr. Golgo, I need you to kill me. Here's a check. Bang!
Done.
But no.
Sure, no problem.
He had
to go through a middleman or something like that.
Right. I feel like there had to be exactly like there couldn't have been a face-to-face on this. It had to be a middleman. It had to be like a thing.
And what does the middleman's look like? He's like, I want you
know
to
Golgo
hire
knew
this
he was the
guy
one that
to
hired
kill
him.
me.
Middleman could have done it and just kept the money.
Right?
Seriously.
Do we even know if Golgo knew that the son was the one that killed him?
That is an
I don't
excellent
know because
question.
Golgo doesn't ask questions unless he's scared.
That's right.
Yeah.
and, we,
And the chest boo boo made him
Yeah,
scared,
so-
so he had to
yeah.
ask a question.
So and yeah, and so now that again, it's like, did he know who hired him? I assume, but that's, you can't know for sure. Like maybe he didn't know, but it's
His face gave nothing away, so you won't know.
right. But like, okay, so I assume he didn't because the whole contract for Dr. Z came through a remediary, came through a third party, came through his clockworky buddy.
Yep.
And so I imagine that's probably where his gigs come from. So he had no idea that he was paid to kill a guy by the guy that he was killing.
So do we know if any of this is actually based on any of the stories in the manga?
Well, no, but it is based on real life. This is all me. This is my life story. I just want to let you guys know that I had to change the name because Rick and Duke, it's very similar, but different enough that we, and I had to make him Japanese. It was,
Yeah, somewhere Duke Tuggles will be listening and like this.
It's gonna be a sniper shot through my window. I have no idea. I honestly have. Let me look it up real quick before I open my freaking mouth. So this came out in '92 for us, and this is dangerously close to when Leon came out. Leon came out in '94 was when we got it. So sometime, like within a 1 year span, because chances are we didn't see it right in '92 when it dropped. It probably like sometime '93 we probably watched it. So this came out right.
You talking about the professional, the French one?
Leon, the professional, yes.
So yeah, so the professional, Leon, the professional, the movie, Luc Besson, came out in '94, and Golgo came out in the States in '92, 93, probably when we watched it. So I kind of conflate the two because I wasn't sure when the professional movie was coming out, if it was a Golgo story, because I'd seen the anime. So I was like, oh, this is like, it's a master assassin. I wonder if this is a Golgo 13 story, and come to find out it wasn't. But I always conflate the two together because they were so close to each other in release dates for us when we were growing up.
Somebody was biting off the other person. Easily.
Right? I feel like Luc Besson was probably just a really big fan of anime, and I think that there's got to be truth to that because I've seen The Fifth Element, and that is a live action anime. So,
Oh yeah.
it was because I conflated the story all the time, the characters all the time. It came out at a perfect time for us, the age group that we were in. I forgot my point. The point was I wanted to talk about the fact that the two movies came out around the same time, and they both featured a protagonist who was a master assassin. And isn't that interesting?
Hey, the other dude had a
And it
plant.
still
and drank
requires
milk.
everyone to kill him.
That's right. It's to require everyone to kill. What would you say, Lynette?
I said the other dude at least had a plant and drank milk.
He had a plant.
I mean-
He had a plant, he had a Matilda.
But also so stoic, right? Like Leon was an extremely stoic character. Nowhere near as stoic as Duke, because of course Duke is. It was a very interesting time to be alive in the mid '90s when we were having all these master assassin films in our lives.
That is super similar.
And so back to Golgo, our Duke, which again, another thing that just doesn't get explained. Why is he 13? He's Golgo 13. Obviously, Duke Togo is his real name, and only certain people would know that. But he's the 13th Golgo? Maybe he's just lucky number 13? I don't know.
But
Maybe
there
it's
are 12
because,
more in front of
anyone
him.
that deals against him has to deal with, death.
12.
So he's very unlucky for them.
Y'all remember sidebar or using that's what we call
Mindless Musing. It's a mindless music.
mindless musing? Do you remember they actually had a video game for Golgo 13?
Yes, on the NES.
I never played it, but yes.
How would you do the video? Is it like Duck Hunt on steroids or something?
It had aspects like that.
The clockwork guy comes out with the cork.
And it's even funnier because that game actually did get a US release.
Oh, you miss a kill and he just laughs at you.
I mean, that's the only thing I could think of. Like, this whole movie was an intense shoot 'em up movie. To make a video game of it, if you did a first-person shooter on the PS4, that'd be awesome. But for an NES, the only thing I can think of is.
You're saying this. I will still play that game.
Right. So, no, I think it was a platformer. I think it was an action platformer. I think Contra.
Negative. It was a mix of everything.
Was it?
I've actually got a stream going up right now. There's a helicopter sequence.
Damn.
There's a like Hogan's Alley type sequence where you just got a giant reticle and you're going all over the screen shooting people.
No, that's the type of game we were hoping for with this.
You have another one where it's like behind his back and he's shooting. Then you have a platforming sequence.
Wow. All right. So and this was NES?
NES.
There you go, folks. NES.
Wow, you have a dungeon crawling type sequence where it's the pseudo 3D and you're going all over the place.
Like Wolfenstein?
Even older than that.
Well, obviously Nintendo.
I like the old Western RPGs back then, when you're going through the dungeons and it's like frame by frame.
Man. All right. So this series is got a lot. There's live action movies previous to this anime. Sonny Chiba was in them.
Yeah.
Like the Street Fighter is a pretty big deal. And then there have been
a full-blown anime series in the early 2000s as well.
I was gonna say, and then there were anime to follow it. There was Queen Bee, the sequel, which we'll get to eventually, and then there's the series. So I mean, this has been a long-running franchise. So now I'm gonna get to the point that I wanted to talk about before with Laura. Laura, the billionaire's son's daughter or son's wife, who loses her husband in a freak murder, doesn't inherit a penny, and ends up a penniless on the street for some reason. Because I buy that plot point for sure. And I kind of wish, just a little bit, that she would have killed Golgo at the end. Because I feel like it would have been poetic or ironic that this woman who was used as a pawn to kill him was ultimately the thing that killed him.
Well, that could also, the fact that she literally got the short end of the stick. She did absolutely nothing wrong, and she was just destroyed.
I don't mean to use it as a pun, but she really got on this one.
Oh, yeah.
And it was not. So
You're right.
If anybody deserved a W, it was her. And even like Brian said earlier, even at point blank range, she couldn't deliver goods on that one.
Nope.
Couldn't even shoot him in the butt. I mean, there are people. Deadpool, some dude just random shot right in the butt. She couldn't even shoot him in the butt. I mean,
No.
She shot him in the butt muscle.
And she was just broken, I guess, is the.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just she starts up. She's holding the gun up to the head. Starts dropping the gun. At one point, you could have just pulled the trigger and shot him anywhere.
No. Yeah. No, I feel like it was. Anyway, I know that it's obviously you're not going to kill your main character like that, but boy, wouldn't that have been a poetic end
You know what?
This story.
So I had a thought about that last scene too. How did he not know she was there?
Oh, he knew.
I think he knew he was there and just didn't care.
I don't think he gave two about her because she wasn't a target. She was never an aggressor in his life. Like she didn't have the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the every initial organization hunting him down. If anything, she was a $20 bill. She was the equivalent of a $20 bill. It's like, here, let me tip baby teeth with this $20 bill, and that was her whole purpose.
I'm not even sure Golgo even registered her as anything. Like that was.
Probably, if he even knew who she was.
Yeah.
Like he didn't look at her like, oh, I ruined your whole life. Well, I'm just gonna walk off now.
You look strangely like a 4-year-old who tried to shoot me in an airport the other day. It's just nothing, right? There's no connection between the two.
You don't even know what happened to the girl. You don't even know what happened to her daughter.
Oh yeah, no, she was calling out.
She's obviously emotionally scarred for the rest of her life,
right? No kidding. Yeah, that dude, that Dawson dude, he wanted the whole. He just gave up on everything when his son killed himself. He's just like, I'm gonna burn this whole down, all of it. Everybody dies.
So was the butler named Alfred too?
I don't know. It was Alfred or Albert or some like that, but it
was
was yeah. So she's calling out for him. I was like, of course. Now she's gonna turn into Batgirl. But hey, sequel.
Batman versus Golgo 13.
So yeah, it was Albert. Just look it up.
It was
for
Albert.
Sure.
Okay, so it was Albert. Yeah. So this little girl is alone in an airport. Her mother is her dad is dead, and her grandpa threw himself out of the window before getting shot in the head.
Who's the richest little girl?
And left nothing to anyone.
She's obviously set for life.
Ah!
The only heir to the oil tycoon's fortune. So, and clearly, mom doesn't want it because she's turning tricks for a couple $100.
Like, it makes you wonder, what was she doing before she met him?
Turning tricks for $200.
He found you on the street, and that's where he'll put you. It was yeah.
I mean, she was oddly comfortable in that situation. I don't know. It's just
She
like,
fell right into it, like no big deal. I'm like, you gotta. That is a far cry. I don't. Just saying, it is a very far fall for me to go from being a millionaire to sucking. Like it's a long fall. There's a lot has to happen before you get to that point.
I mean, she's a billionaire tycoon wife. Now she's only doing 200. I mean, at least be a
Right?
high-end escort. Come
Like
on,
you know you're worth it. Like
have a little dignity. There.
it's really. I mean,
Know your worth.
it is a.
Right?
It is a far fall, and they really don't. Honestly, that whole end bit. I know that anime had to end, and it couldn't just end. It had to have some kind of epilogue. But did that have to be the epilogue? Like he could have visited Rita's grave or something. I would have found that far more satisfying than finding out Laura's on the street and can't hit a barn, broadside of a barn. Oh, you know what? She's a stormtrooper. That's what she was, a stormtrooper.
Oh yeah.
Before she got.
There you go.
So she fell from being a billionaire's wife. Went to a
Soldier.
galaxy far, far away.
Soldier in an Imperial army. And
came back. And then started like,
that's it, You got credits don't work on Earth, so I don't know, man.
sorry, but I feel like I want to start going to other and saying, hey, were you ever the billionaire's wife? How did we get here? It's not my business.
Tell me your story. No, I'm not looking for anything. Just your story. It's really they're never that good. Those stories are never that good. It's usually a paying your way through college or meth or you know what I mean. Like it's never as interesting as well. I was married to a multi-billionaire son, and
he was killed by a world-class assassin.
Yeah, it's fine. So
It's fine.
It's fine. Whatever. You know what it is? It's the same thing that happens with a bunch of anime from that era. A bunch of anime in the 80s, right? You get this. It's part of a manga, so they know that they got more story than they know what to do with, and they don't know how to end it. Right? Fist of the North Star, weird ending. Even Vampire Hunter D, just kind of weird ending. Like all, it's just a common trope for me at this point that if it was an anime from that era, the 80s, that it's probably got a weird ending. Akira, as much as everybody loves Akira, it's a weird fucking ending. Brian, you know the ending. Tell us all about it.
Well played. Well played. Ooh,
Oh God.
there you go.
I was about to ask the same thing.
Anyway,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So let's do this. Let's do our thing. I'll let you start, Brian, since I threw you over the threw you in front of a bus on that one. Tell me about your final thoughts on Golgo 13, The Professional. What did you think? How do you feel?
There are a lot of good things in here that overshadow any of the negative things I love that we got a great love making scene, a sex scene, love. What do you want to call it?
Sex. We call them sex. It was a sex scene. It was a sex scene. There was
I
there
love,
was some gratuitous sex scenes.
yeah, and I love that it didn't feel forced, except for baby teeth. But sure, somebody gave her permission. It wasn't her, but somebody did. I don't know if that counts.
I don't think it counts. I'm pretty sure it
I don't
doesn't.
think it counts.
I don't think it counts. Judges? Yeah, no, it doesn't count. So
It doesn't count. All right. Flag on the play. Clearly. I love that his weapons were period. It's not like they made anything super like
like they didn't
it was
invent weapons for this.
M16, and they put a trigger case on. Boom. It was a snub nose. It's not like you had held 15 bullets. No, 6 bullets, and he had to manually reload it. I love that. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it so much. I watched it 3 times.
All right. Did
And
you
even with that, I still didn't know that the Ford that he was driving was.
did
What
you
the
did you watch it subbed, dubbed, both? How'd you do it?
I have to watch it sub,
Yeah. No, I don't blame you.
which is actually something that I wanted to. Thank you for bringing that up. I hated that when like anytime they put something in that typewriter print,
Mm-hmm.
there was no translation for what it actually said there.
Yeah. On our copy, it didn't have that. That's is what it is. You can make it up.
I did.
That's it.
The local master, legal master, and over here, and then when they showed Brannigan and told his story, I said Brannigan was actually John Wayne.
No, well, that tracks.
So, yeah,
That's a little different from mine. Mine was the first one is that he had achieved being a Pokemon master at 8, and then moved on to killing people for a living just because he liked the challenge. So
It's better than Pokemon.
yeah, you got to make your own story here.
you have to. But I enjoyed it.
Cool. Yeah. All right, Lynette, as a victim of once again suffering our choice of rando 80s anime that you hadn't seen, what how'd you feel about Golgo?
I was confused at first. Like I couldn't. The first shot scene, I actually had to watch it twice before I realized that he shot a guy getting off a plane from a plane and left on a plane. That was kind of. I was like, wait, what? Is this the Matrix? What's happening? And and then after that, it just kept getting more fantastic. Fantastic with
Yeah.
all the shots, all the angles, and everything. I enjoyed it, but at the same time, I couldn't get over the fact that he never changed an expression. Like, I was like, at one point, you got to move your eyebrows at the very least.
You gotta emote. And he had those Kenshiro eyebrows, them big freaking, like he had the whitest Sharpie in the world when they drew those on.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, at one point, your eyes are open, that's cool, but at one point your eyebrows are gonna have to move. I need to know when you're surprised or if you're angry or if someone just passed gas in the elevator. I need to know
Something.
what you're
Like, they moved like 1 micrometer. Like,
So,
Like
and then
it's physically impossible for us to mimic his eyebrows.
It's
Yeah.
impossible. We can't.
and then you go to the extreme with baby teeth, and so
Oh
like the
my
whole
God.
time I'm like, ooh, one guy is freaking me out because he doesn't make any facial expression, and then the next guy is freaking me out because I don't even know what he's doing. I don't know what
how
he's
he gums
doing.
everything to death.
But at the same time, the fact that it kept my interest when I'm not really into a lot of
Yeah.
those types of movies, I was like, okay, this can do it. All right.
Yeah, I concur. I'm not generally a spy thriller type. Like, I got to be in a specific kind of mood to enjoy a Bond film. But yeah, I agree. It was this is something else.
I think they
Vic.
might set us on fire if they find out that I've never watched any of the Bond movies.
Oh, they might. This is gonna burn it all down. Send all your hate mail to no. So Vic, Golgo 13 after way too many years. What'd you think?
Well, considering it's still one of the few VHS that I still own. I own that one and I own Akira. I think there's another one or two I still own.
Vic, why do you still own it on VHS?
Because I don't throw them out.
I have like a whole cat. I was like, you only have one? I have a cabinet full of VHSs. Like, no
Oh,
lie.
well, if you ask me about my DVD collection, then that's
Guys,
insane.
Guys, I'm not trying to like knock y'all for having retro formats. I own records. I get it, but
I have the original Disney Cinderella VHS.
and the white clamshells that the internet tells me are worth money.
Mm-hmm. With the pee-pee castle.
Oh God.
So
besides
yes.
the slight distraction here that yes, I own
Apologies.
it on VHS. Bite me. I loved it. It because of when it came out. You know, it came out in the very very early '80s, so it had that '70s vibe. It's like the color choices, the musical choices. It like screams '70s, and I think it helped it even more because you know you can't get away with any of that crap today.
Early 80s to me. It really did feel early 80s.
I mean, animation wise, but I mean like thematically. Come
Yeah,
on.
No,
thematically.
I'm talking about the music wise. Music.
Oh, music wise.
Yeah, it felt like it had a lot of synth driven music. You know, so it felt like
A lot of synth, but the style, just the overall style of music itself was very 70s. It was
Yeah, come on, man. There's like a whole saxophone sex scene in this. I mean, like every time he's not emoting and he's looking intensely at something,
Is Kenny G a joke to you? Is Kenny G a joke to you?
Hey.
Is that what you're telling me now? Kenny G is a joke? You don't believe in Kenny G was in the 80s?
Do not invoke his name. Do not invoke his name. If you're gonna talk Kenny, you better bring it.
He's joking. Fine, it's fine.
but it's okay. I thoroughly enjoyed it though.
I do have to make an apology. I think we were too hard. Laura? Is that her name?
Laura the.
No, yes, we were too hard on her.
Why were we too hard on her? I don't feel we were hard enough on her. I feel like that was.
No, because here's what happened. We were talking about the fall that she had from billionaire to and we just went from contract killers to talking about Disney. So we can't judge. I was like, wait, really? I have the clamshell of Cinderella and a Little Mermaid. I was like, no, wait, what? What?
How many
Ryan's
shows?
broken.
How many shows can you listen to where we talk about contract killers and Disney all in the same show? We are
Here.
Only mindless midlife musings of the animator.
It has to be mindless on this one.
You know, people are going to be Googling what is a VHS because nobody really.
And you know what? They deserve whatever they find. Actually, I'm kind of scared. What shows up first when you Google a VHS?
The Ring.
Oh God, it's actually a Wikipedia article on VHS.
Well, that's not as interesting. So I guess my final thoughts on Golgo here. Excellent spy thriller type film that just happens to be animated. Like I feel like story-wise, action-wise, this stands up to everything from that era as far as this sort of genre goes, and I think that it does stand the test. The animation doesn't really stand the test of time as much, but the action and the story and everything else that does kind of keep you around. To me, the animation definitely feels dated for a lot of it, but some of it's excellent. Some of the shots are just dynamite.
And so the CGI for back then was just insane, considering everything else at that time was nowhere near that.
Yeah, I mean, revolutionary in a lot of ways. It really was. It did a lot. And here's something I did want to touch on. It was a mindless musing that I wrote down, and I wanted to bring it up. Is the name of the film is Golgo 13. That's what it was called in Japan. here they called it Golgo 13, The Professional. And what I read on this is that when they were bringing it over here, our good friend Carl Masick from Harmony Gold, Streamline Pictures, he wanted to release the film over here, but he wanted it to appeal to anime fans and ordinary filmgoers. And he feared that the name, people who didn't know the manga, which is basically everybody out here, that they would think that it was part of a series, like the 13th movie in a series that they had no access to the other 12 versions. So he decided to add The Professional to the end because he felt that it would make it clearer that it wasn't a 13th sequel. I don't know how, but
I think he screwed the pooch on that part. Because I gotta tell you, if I hear Golgo 13 The Professional, I'm thinking I need to look for him on LinkedIn or something like that.
Right.
what's his how many words did he type a minute?
Right.
All right, but it makes you think, okay, that's a subtitle. So what's the subtitle for the 12 previous movies?
Right, that's the way I approached
13,
it.
Killer, Golgo 13, Golgo 13,
Yeah.
that.
So
Golgo 1.
Golgo 1. Golgo just Golgo. That one's just Golgo. So
that's just Golgo?
It's just Golgo. Golgo 1 is just Golgo. So yeah, I feel like it was just a stupid mindless musing, but it was an interesting tidbit that in an effort to be less confusing, he added a subtitle to the title. That frankly only made it more confusing.
Yeah, screw the pooch on that.
Yeah, really.
Especially with The Professional coming out 2 years later.
Right, yeah, especially with coming out 2 years later. Just really threw everything for a whirl.
I actually had a problem with that. With the whole The Professional. I mean, now that I'm a professional, do I get to put that colon Brian James, The Professional?
I mean, I feel like you
Brian
could.
James, a professional.
The professional and a professional. I mean, how many other people out there doing it? I'd say do it. If you're the first one, you're the professional. So go for it, and see if the libel suits come rolling in afterwards.
I'm gonna put a number there too, just to see if that you're Golgo 94.
Yeah, I feel like you could have called the movie Duke Togo, and it probably would have been fine.
Duke Togo, The Professional.
I'm gonna bring this up when we actually get to Queen Bee.
Yeah,
I think he sucks at hiding his identity.
Oh, for sure.
Like, why have a shitty secret identity? Because he's Batman.
Like, seriously,
everybody knows Batman is Bruce Wayne.
I bet if he smiled more, they would not be able to figure out who he is.
That is the folly of Duke Togo, is that everybody knows he's Duke Togo.
Everybody. He has slept with more people he's killed. That has
arguably everybody he slept with has been killed. So
we get Golgo HIV next.
I don't know, man. But yeah, do check it out. Do check out Golgo 13 The Professional. It's gonna be a tricky one for you. You're looking for the 1983 release. The sequel, Queen Bee, we'll get to that eventually. It's definitely in our criteria for things we want to watch. And eventually I'm sure we'll touch on the series as well. But yeah, do check it out. It's nothing if not a fantastic love letter to the spy thriller series, with all the bullets and everything you want from this kind of a film. So that,
Or a smile from the good guy,
and never a smile. That's right. The stoic calm of the professional. So, folks, I think this is going to be our show for today. So until next time, keep calm and call Baby Teeth a dentist.
You've just been privy to the mindless midlife musings of the anime nerd, presented by Geek Grotto. Follow the podcast on Twitter at Geek Grotto. For show notes and corrections, or for general geeky fun, you can visit our website at geek-grotto.com.
If you would like to sponsor the show, you can do so on the podcast's Red Circle host site, redcircle.com/shows/MMMAN. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast app, please like, follow, and subscribe.